I was honored today to host the Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness Committee here at this White Township fire station. Essentially, we're looking at ways to increase volunteerism amongst fire companies and emergency responders here in Pennsylvania. One of the bills we discussed was my bill, House Bill 1773, that essentially creates a volunteer tuition assistance program for any qualified higher educational institution. Basically, what that does, it allows some of the cost of their tuition to be basically put on hold, and then they would have a commitment to serve for 5 years following graduation with a volunteer fire company in Pennsylvania. And if they fulfill that requirement, then that portion of their tuition would go away. So they don't have to pay it up front, but basically it gives them credits. And as long as they serve for 5 years as a volunteer with a fire company in Pennsylvania, that cost would go away. And we made it so that it can be any type of active volunteer at a fire company, not just those who go out and fight fires, but those who help administratively, those who help fundraise or do events, and that would have to be documented obviously by the fire chief or their supervisor. But we're facing a crisis right now with volunteers. The numbers are down dramatically. As some of the testimony today that we heard, there's some times where they'll be lucky if 1 or 2 volunteers are able to show up because of work requirements or other things like that. So this is an incentive to try and increase volunteers. I also think it could potentially increase enrollment in our state system of higher education. So there are many benefits to it. And I think the bottom line, though, is we have a serious issue right now with volunteers, and we need to make sure we're doing everything we can to not only incentivize but reward those who sacrifice, to keep our communities safe. If we don't have people volunteering to serve their communities, someone has to pay the firefighters. So without these volunteers, the residents are going to have to pay more in taxes to pay firefighters. So I think we need to do everything we can to get people to volunteer. It's unfortunate, that the numbers are down so much. We've seen a cultural change where people don't feel as much civic responsibility. But whatever that case may be, we need to do everything we can to try and encourage more people to volunteer, to make a difference for their communities. And if we can do that by providing some tuition assistance for higher education, then I think we need to do that.